Former NBA player Stephen Jackson gives more details about what really happened when he left his fiancée at the altar. He had previously talked about it in an article, but this time he explains who and what was really behind it. His ex-wife has a completely different theory as to why he left her at the altar, and she's on social media trying to prove it with evidence. Let's examine both sides and cut through the BS.
My other two, it's just been about money with her. It's just been about money the whole time. That's the one that I was, my wedding was getting ready to start. And I had been telling her 2 months before we was going to Texas, look, I'm telling you now, you need to sign this prenup because I'm telling you, don't try me when I get there. You're not going to dictate how I take care of my mama, my sister, and all. I know what you up to. And by the fact that we going through this, it's showing me a different side of you because we never had these type of conversations.
Yeah.
So, and with still my heart, a month is a month. We're getting ready to go down to prepare for the wedding that week. She still hasn't signed it. So I'm like, look, bro.
What was the argument? I just want to know.
It really wasn't no argument. She kept saying she was going to sign it. I'm going to sign it. I'm going to sign it. But kept getting the attitude every time I brought it to her. So I'm telling her, I'm like, look, I'm going to embarrass you in front of all these people. Don't do it. Like, don't do it. But she know my heart. Like, she know my heart. And she thought that we was going to get there. Everything was going to be set. I was going to be dressed. And I wasn't going to turn back right there. I was going to have Kofi, you know what I'm saying, go through with it. So, and my sister's in the room because my sister was in the wedding. So my sister's in the room. So all her bridesmaids are telling her not to sign it. Telling the girl, they in the room with my sister. So my sister walked out and just came in where the men was and just basically told me what was going on in there, right? So I told her to go back. So to go back, and I said, and I talked to Steph and them, and, you know, broke down for a minute. You know what I'm saying? Start crying for a minute. I'm just trying to figure it out. And I'm glad I had my boys there. They was like, bro, you can't do that, bro. You work too hard. Like, it's something up, you know what I'm saying? So I called it off. You know, I ended up wasting like close to $400,000 on the wedding, just wasted, and we end up just, you know, partying, and our relationship never been the same since. We end up having another son afterward, end up getting back together and dating and try to make it work for my daughter, and the same thing end up happening. The same thing ended up happening.
And she never said why she wouldn't sign.
I know why. Yeah, she had motives. It's been the whole time.
Now, his ex-fiancé is calling him a liar and saying that it was never a prenup to begin with, and he left her at the altar for different reasons. And here's her evidence. She posted this letter that was sent to him from his financial advisor, where it shows that the financial advisor was adamant about setting up a date with him and the lawyer to draw up a prenup. This was 2 weeks before the wedding, so she could rightfully say, how was he asking her to sign a prenup 2 to 3 months before the wedding if he hadn't even met with the lawyer to get the prenup drawn up yet? She also goes on to say that it was sent to him and copied to his mama, who she assumes is the one who was actually meeting with the lawyers and working all of this behind the scenes anyway. She's saying that he never talked to her about a prenup, and he was only entertaining it just to avoid disappointing his mama, who was the only one who really wanted that prenup to begin with. After she dropped those receipts, the sisterhood was rejoicing as if she actually proved something, but she didn't really prove anything. The only thing she proved is that he probably is a mama's boy, as a lot of NBA players are, and he didn't have the prenup in hand 2 to 3 months ago. He probably talked to her about it. She probably was agitated when he talked to her about it, but he didn't have it drawn up yet. But this is what she didn't prove. She didn't prove that him or his mama didn't go and meet with those lawyers after that date. She didn't prove that on the week of the wedding or even the day of the wedding that they didn't present her with a prenup. Even if it was a shotgun prenup, if it was presented to you and you plan on staying married to this man, why not sign it anyway? And since they got back together and had another child, which is crazy, by the way, as he stated, the same thing kept happening. What prevented her from signing a prenup then after it was no longer a shotgun prenup? Could it be that you would only marry him without a prenup? Short of that, you would take the consolation prize of a second baby and the child support that comes along with it. But wait, before you start to think that Stephen Jackson actually stood his ground and learned something here, he got married again to another woman 4 years later in 2009, had a messy divorce that she filed in 2013, where he even sold a Bentley that he bought for her while the divorce was still in process, stating that he'll rather spend all the money before he let her take any of it. He got married again in 2021, but get this, no prenup. His current wife went out of her way to tell everyone that she married him without a prenup. I don't know about this other chick and what she had to do with loops he had. I didn't have to jump through those loops. She went out her way to tell everybody that. And that was what triggered the ex-fiance and sent her on this crusade. Now, her and all of her flying monkeys are over on IG hurling insults at the current wife. This woman is over 40 and is acting like a high schooler, which means the broken clock that was Steven Jackson was actually right when he left her at the altar for allegedly not signing that prenup. But when they do sign the prenup, it still ain't over. Just listen to what Tyrese had to say on Joe Budden's podcast. Click right here.